Right, I think we're live. I pressed the wrong button there. As you can probably see, you got a sneak glimpse of me getting ready. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. I'm just going to drag the screen round so that I can read the chat a bit more. And welcome to part 6 of a 9-part playthrough series. We're playing through the Dragon's Demand today. I'm not going to do too much preamble. If you haven't watched any of the previous ones and you're interested, I would recommend going back and watching from the start. So yeah, we are playing through the Dragon's Demand. I'm getting quite a lot of echo in here today. I don't know why. Nothing's changed. We're playing through all of these adventures, and we're about to start Adventure 2C, which is the third part of Adventure 2, and it's quite exciting because I've never got this far before. I've only ever played through this a few times. I've now been progressing with Adventure 2. We're on Scenario 6 today. And then when we finish this, I'm going to be completing these over the next 3 weeks. So by the end of June, we will have finished this adventure path. And there we go. Right, so we're going to jump straight in just before we start. A big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. I know a lot of you watching this are Patreon supporters of mine, so thank you very much. If you are not a Patreon supporter and you wonder what Patreon is the financial support that I rely on in order to take time off work to create these videos. So if you like the content that I create and you want to support the channel, the link is in the bottom right, patreon.com/gaming rules. Let's jump in. Off we go. Right, Adventure 2C. So last time we were at an auction. That was interesting. Yeah, that was very interesting. Is it light enough or is it too dark? It all looks a little bit, to me, too dark. Every time I do a playthrough, I adjust the colours slightly, and that looks a little bit dark, so I'm just going to increase it a little bit. There you go. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, let me know if it's oh, the stream says Paris. Yes, it does. Right, let's go to the template. Thank you very much. I knew I'd forget something. There we go. Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. It's a little dark, says Andrea, but I've made it a bit brighter, so hopefully that is okay. Yeah, we're going to jump in. So Adventure 2C, off we go. Read the following aloud. The Belhaim Town Council again has permitted your presence in its deliberations. Since you have provided aid to the town over the last month, your voices are welcome in between pronouncements of the dueling clerics of Abadar and Shaylin. Today the subject has again turned to monsters. What are these grioths of which you speak? Oh, this is the Lady Origana. What are these grioths of which you speak? The Lady Origana Devi struggles with yet another unexplained disturbance to her town's serenity. You had never heard of these bat-like creatures before either, but fortunately you are not the only ones present. I have found some information that may serve me, lady, says... Oh gosh, who's this guy? Eupafena Targas. They do these names just to confuse me, I think. The cleric who tends the Temple of Abadar. In preparation for the auction, the clerks prevailed upon me to examine the wizard's books. Some I could not understand, but the bestiary was in a script I could quickly decipher. Therein I found all manner of known malefactors, the bloodbug, the basilisk, the lurking ray. Several I had not yet known of. Among them these grioths. Here's what I know. They are not from around here. From round here. In fact, they are not of this world. They are from planets cast away from their stars. The worst of wizards summon them to Galarion through a magical tapestry called the Dark Window. There is no good in them, she continues. Oh, is this a woman? Okay, this is a woman. There is no good in them, she continues. They come to pillage the land and kidnap the helpless. They are experts in crafting cells in which to imprison their victims. The grioths must be either slain or forced back through the window from whence they came. I love the word whence. It's a brilliant word. The council devolves into whispers and hubbub as all present consider the gravity of the situation. Begging your leave, ma'am, says Jacoba Curvis, the town barrister, I have a list of the missing. It's not a short list. As has become typical of late, all eyes in the room turn toward you. There is a crisis, and you will again prove to be the solution to it. For a bucolic countryside town, Belhaim sure isn't boring. Right, okay. Are we taking bets on the villain being the top card? Well, I'm going to shuffle them again for you. And I do need Rick to do the voices. Where is Rick when you need him? Okay, so this adventure, I haven't played this one before, so I'm reading this for the first time, but I have done the setup. We have the danger, which is the Grioth. Now, the Grioth is these nasty bat-like creatures. The last time we encountered them, I'd never heard of them. I don't think these are a generic D&D monster. I think these are specific to the Pathfinder Galarian setting. If you are a Pathfinder Galarian fan, let me know. Am I right in thinking that these are specific to Pathfinder? So this is the danger. Whenever we encounter the danger, it's this. Also, this is the villain. Okay? And because this card is representing both the danger and the villain, the actual villain is a proxy. So we have a proxy card which is representing the villain. The henchmen are closing henchmen, which are actually rescues. So these are actually not henchmen who we're going to fight. These are the people we've got to rescue. Now, the way that this adventure is set up, again, this is a little bit different from normal. What we have is we have 3 locations. We have the cell, which is always in every game. Let's just zoom in a bit so you can see these. We have the cell, we have the castle, and we have the stable. Now, you always use the castle in every game with any player count. In a one-player game, you use the castle and the stable, but you will use additional locations as printed here. Now, all characters start in the castle, and you have to go through the locations one at a time in this order, closing them one at a time until they're all closed, and then you go back to the cell. So what I've done is I have laid them out in this order. So castle, stable, and cell, and we have to go through them in this order, which is why I've put those there. So we start at the castle, and unlike normal games where the villain is shuffled into a random location, in this one, the villain is in the cell. Okay, so we know that the Grioth villain is in here, and we know that there are people to rescue in the castle and people to rescue at the stable. Special rules. You may move only when your location is closed, and you may move only to the next location on the scenario list. After the last location you're using is closed, move to the cell. Before you encounter the rescue, summon encounter the danger. So every time we find somebody to rescue, we have to fight a Grioth. If it is not defeated, the rescue is evaded, so it gets shuffled back into the deck. Makes sense. When you would draw a new ally for defeating the rescue, because that is the benefit, I believe, for defeating the rescue. If defeated, draw a new ally that lists diplomacy in its check to acquire. You draw it, presumably that means... Okay, when it says draw it, do I get it into my hand? I don't have to acquire it? Yeah, because otherwise it would say encounter it. So basically, if you rescue somebody, you get a card. You get a free card. But in this case, when you would draw a new ally for defeating the rescue, instead, draw the rescue proxy. Okay. Because there's a rescue proxy in there, and there's a rescue proxy in there. Right. Interesting. If a rescue proxy would go anywhere other than a character's hand, shuffle it into your location. When you encounter the villain, before acting, bury 1d4 cards. After acting, if each character cannot reveal a rescue proxy, the villain is undefeated. So what's this telling me? And I love the way that this game uses these extra rules to really mix things up. So basically, we're going to rescue somebody here, and we're going to rescue somebody here. When we rescue them, the card, their hostage is clogging up your hand. Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say, the card, which will be a proxy version of this, goes into our hand, but we can't do anything with it. So it clogs up our hand. But then, when we encounter the villain, who is in the cell, after acting, if each character cannot reveal a rescue proxy, the villain is undefeated. So literally, we have to reveal this from our hand. Otherwise, we don't defeat it. Interesting. Okay, right. Well, let's jump in. Let's make a start. Now, one thing last time is I spent my hero point on getting another ally. I keep finding really good allies. So I've improved my character. Whoa, the smell of a Sharpie. Yeah, by spending my hero points on this. So my deck size is 17, and I've actually got 5 allies in there. It's interesting that you can configure your character in different ways. Anyway, I'm going to draw my starting cards. I'm going to choose Knife Weapon. And let's draw my starting hand. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. These have been really, really, really enjoyable. I talked about this game in my latest video log, where I basically said that I'm loving these solo playthroughs, and I didn't think this game would work solo, and it actually has been working. So the question is, what do I do when I finish this campaign? Do I start again with a different character solo? We will see. We will see. Yes, Paul and his Sharpie. They should make a TV series about that. Absolutely. Okay, so 5 cards and a hare. That's not mine. Okay, so if we don't get a knife, we get to redraw, because that's what I said. I said my favourite card was a knife weapon. And I've drawn Wormsmite, but I haven't drawn a knife weapon. Okay, so those are going to go to one side. I'm going to draw 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've still not drawn a knife weapon. Nope, so they go to one side. I think I did something wrong last time. Didn't I do something wrong last time when I was doing this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Okay, so I don't actually have that many knife weapons in my hand. Okay. There we go. And then all of the cards... Excuse me. I've just got something in my throat, and I don't have a glass of water with me today. Right, okay. So, there's my 5 starting cards. We have Abadar's Law. We have the Riding Allosaurus. We have the Naval Hero. This is my new one that I got. We have my Harrow deck, and we have a dagger. Okay, right. And because I've got 17 cards in my deck now, I think I can be a little bit more risky, frugal, whatever the word is. Just make sure all of these are the right way up. They are. Okay. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. Now, let's read the location. At this location, you may avenge by recharging a card. Now, avenging is one of the really cool new mechanisms introduced with this effectively 2nd edition of the game. But when you're playing solo, you don't use the avenging rules at all. So we can forget that. To close or guard this location, well, for me, that's closing. Bury a weapon or the top card of your deck. Ah! That's going to be... Ooh. Okay, so we're going to have... Bury is permanently lose for this adventure a weapon or the top card of my deck. Well, we'll see. We'll see how we get on. So let's shuffle the hourglass, which is 30 random blessings from the vault. And just so we don't draw the villain on the top, I am going to give these a shuffle as well. I still might draw the vision on the top, the villain on the top, but at least you're seeing them be shuffled. So in here is somebody to rescue. And if we do rescue them, we can close the location. Right, off we go. So hour 1 is the Rabbit Prince. Let's just move these over a bit. When this is the hour, at the start of your combat check, you may recharge a card to draw the top card of your deck. Okay. If you do not play that card on this check, bury it. Right, Adam's here. Hi, Adam. Thank you for joining in. We should get a game of this going at Gen Con. Not Gen Con, GridCon. GridCon's better than Gen Con. Yeah, if anybody watching this is attending GridCon in November, let me know, because we could run a whole campaign of this. Might take all day, but it'd be fun. Right, okay, so we are going to explore this location. Off we go. We have found it is Drums of Haste. So it's an item, it's a level 2 item. The check to acquire it is Constitution or Charisma of 8. Yeah. So I actually have Charisma D8. So there's a 1 in 8 chance that I'm going to be able to pick this up. Now, do I really want it? I mean, it is a level 2 item, but it's not one that I'm actually... It's an instrument. I'm not a drummer. I'm more of a guitarist. Actually, I'm more of a keyboard player, but that's another story entirely. On a local combat or charisma check. Aha, this is a charisma check. Okay, so actually we've got things that we can do. We can use the Naval Hero on a local combat or charisma check. This is a charisma check. Recharge to add a d6. So I could recharge the naval hero to add a d6. So let's do it. Let's try doing this. Mauricia would make a fantastic drummer for a metal band. Would she? Would she now? That's what we want. We want a metal band made up of characters from Pathfinder. Right, so we are going to make a charisma check. Thank you, Tyler, for joining in. So we're going to have the sparkly d8. That's my charisma. We are going to recharge the naval hero to add a d6. Now, I could also, if I wanted to, recharge Abadar's Law, because I do like this blessing, because it's on any check, discard to bless, but on a check to acquire, recharge to bless. And this is a check to acquire. So I think I'm going to do it. Although, should I save that? Should I save it for something that I actually really want? What does this do? What does this Drums of Haste do? At the end of a local character's move step, display at your location. Okay. While displayed, at the end of each turn, local characters may move and distant locations may move here. Okay, so it's not actually that good for this particular scenario. At the start of your turn, discard this card. If proficient, recharge it instead. I'm not proficient with instrument or magic. So basically, it allows characters to move to or from this location, which in this particular scenario is no good whatsoever. So this is basically just going to be it's going to give me another card for this scenario. So I'm not that bothered about it. So I'm not going to recharge Abadar's Law. I'm just going to go with using the naval ally. So here we go. We need an 8. And I got a 9. So that is it. That is my card. There you go. Right, do I want to discard to explore again? Again, because we're playing solo, I can go as slow as I want. I don't really need to do this. I might just use this as a card that I recharge for my special skill. Banish to examine the top 3 cards of any location and return them in any order. I'm not at that stage yet. So I think I'm probably okay. Is the hour a harrow hour? It is. So if I was to use this, I could banish it, but then succeed at a perception 12 check to recharge it instead, adding 1d4 if the hour is harrow. Now, my perception is rubbish. I can't see anything. So, yeah. I mean, it's recharged to examine the top 3 cards of any character's deck and return them in any order. Do I desperately need anything at the moment? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. I've got the Riding Allosaurus, which will be good for combat checks. So, yeah, I think we're good. I'm going to end the first turn there. Right, Kelly's joined in. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for joining in. Right, second turn. It is the Vision. When this is the hour, at the start of your turn, examine the top card of your location. If it is a magic card, encounter it. Okay, so this is a start of turn effect. We are examining the top card of the location. Oh, look at that. It's a Deadfall Scorpion. Right, it is not a magic card, so I do not encounter it. Now, the choice is, do I want to encounter it myself? And the answer is yes, because otherwise I'm not going to be doing very much. So I need 13 combat check. It is immune to mental and all damage is poison damage. After acting, I suffer 1 poison damage. And if undefeated, I become poisoned. Right. Now, remember, I have the ability to evade anything. So anytime I encounter any card whatsoever, I can just evade it. And yes, the best way to deal with the Vision is to get Wanda to convince him to help you. I don't have that card. That must be a promo card that I don't have. But I know you've got connections, Tyler. So if you can send me the Wanda promo card, that would be great. Thank you very much. I assume everybody watching this gets the reference. I've just noticed I've gone from the screen. I'm only on screen on the zoomed out view. Never mind. That's because I've fiddled around with my template thing. So yeah, I'm not on screen when I zoom in. I won't bother fixing that now. I'll fix that next time. There you go. I'm here again. Right, 13. So I am going to be revealing the Snakebite Dagger. So that gives me my stealth plus a d4 plus 1. And my stealth is d12 plus 2. So I get the d4. and I get the extra 1. So it's actually a d12 plus a d4 plus 3. If it was an animal or a human, I could add a d8 and the poison trait. Okay, and then on a local combat check, I can freely recharge this, but for me, I reload it. Add another d4 if I want to. Now, I'm trying to get 13. Now, somebody did tell me on my... somebody left me a comment on one of these previous videos how to easily work out what the odds of this were. And I didn't fully think it was that... I didn't think it was that easy. But it's basically 12 plus 4... because the average of this is 6.5, the average of this is 2.5, that's 9, 12. So the average roll on this is a 12. I could discard to bless, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to recharge the riding Allosaurus to put the average of 12 up to the average of a 15. Okay, there you go. Mark's here as well. Hi Mark, thank you for joining in. And then I might as well reload that for another d4, putting the average up to 15, 16, 17. And then I have my special ability that during, on my combat check, I can recharge a card to add another d6. So that's what I'm going to do. This should make sure of it. And I'm going to recharge the Drums of Haste because I don't actually need that at all. There you go. So we are all done. Bearing in mind, I am going to suffer a poison damage after this. So actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to recharge the Harrow deck. Yeah, because I'm keeping the Drums of Haste to take that poison damage. One of the quirks with this game that took me a little bit of getting used to, so if you are watching this to learn how to play the game, is if a monster has after-acting powers, they happen even if you defeat the monster. It's like after the combat is over, whether it's defeated or not. So I'm going to take a poison damage at the end of combat. It kind of lashes out with its dying breath. Yeah, we're all good. So it's all of this plus 3. I hope I do this. Oh, well, look at this. My D12 has rolled a 2 again. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Seriously? Oh, dice. Well, that's a terrible start. Let me just add that up again. Oh, I hate these dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. We are off to a terrible start. And Alex is laughing at me in the chat. So thank you very much, Alex. Yes, the dice, it's this dice. This dice has a 50% chance of rolling a 2. So when you fail a combat check, which hasn't happened very much in these playthrough series, you take damage equal to the difference between what you needed and what you rolled. So I needed a 13, I got a 12, which means I take a point of damage. It doesn't matter which one, because after acting, I suffer a poison damage. And because it was undefeated, I suffer the Scourge poisoned. There you go. Awesome. What a brilliant first encounter. And because I didn't defeat it, it gets shuffled in. The D12 thinks it's a D2. Mark is saying that the dice aren't with me today. So that is coming from somebody who hasn't seen the previous 6 playthroughs, because you will notice GGSVC says, with the additional bonuses, you have it, don't you? What additional bonuses? Have I missed any bonuses? Because I was adding on this 3. This 3. Okay, let me just check. Let's make sure I did this right. I'm using stealth. Okay, so stealth for me is D12 plus 2 plus a D4 plus 1. So yeah, I think I've got it right. Yeah, it's not acrobatics, it's stealth, but stealth is D12 plus 2, which is what that was. But then I added another D4, another plus 1, riding Allosaurus, reloaded the weapon, and used my power. So yeah, that's it. Should have blessed the check, but there was like a 90% chance that I'd have done that. It's just really unlucky. Yeah, the dice here, this is the additional dice. So, okay, right. Well, that's terrible. That is terrible. I've had worse. So after you reset, I have to recharge a random card. Okay, so that's what's happening. It's the end of my turn. I am resetting So I draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I have to recharge a random card. Let's roll. It's card number 1. So I'm recharging the Snakebite Dagger. Oh dear. Now then. Thankfully, I've drawn my Barnberry. Now that's awesome. So, next turn. Off we go. I've drawn the Courtesan. When this is the hour, when you would encounter a non-story bane barrier, okay, banish it instead, then summon and encounter a task barrier. What's a task barrier? I guess it's a barrier with the keyword task. Okay, yeah, I did forget to threaten my dice first. Or you. I'm going to smash it to pieces if you don't start rolling higher. There you go. Threaten the dice. Cruelty to dice. Okay, so let's see what we encounter. We have encountered an Acolyte. It's an ally. The chance of picking it up is Charisma, Diplomacy, or Divine. Do I want to boost it? I mean, it's another life point, isn't it? So, I do have my Priest of Pharasma now. So, I think I might... Yeah, we're going to try and acquire the Acolyte using my amazing Charisma, which is a D8, which, as we all know, is much better than a D12. So I'm going to use this dice. And on a local check to acquire, recharge to add a D4. Yeah, that should do. Oh, look at this. Healing, healing, healing. I've drawn 3 healing cards. Barrier with the task trait, correct. Yes, okay. Oh, and Paris has just launched on Kickstarter. Thanks for letting me know, Mark. Right, here we go. Let's try and acquire the Acolyte. I've rolled a 4, and I needed a 4. Excellent. Right, so that's mine. I am then going to use the Barnberry. On my turn, I am going to bury this card to heal a local character for a card and or remove a scourge. So I'm going to remove the poisoned and I'm going to heal. Now healing, unless specified otherwise, is always random. Okay, so I'm going to heal this, the Drums of Haste, which I didn't want, and healing gets shuffled back into your deck. Okay, and that is the Barnberry buried. And somebody left me a comment on one of the previous videos and said, why am I burying the Barnberry rather than banishing it? Because if you banish it, there's a chance you'll get it back. But then they deleted their comment. So I got an email telling me that there was a comment, but then they deleted the comment. And maybe that's because they worked it out. It's because my character would need to succeed at a divine or a survival check to recharge the card. I can't do that. So for me, if I was to choose to banish it, I lose the card forever. Whereas if I choose to bury it, I will get it back at the end of the adventure. And that's the difference. If your character had survival or divine, you would want to banish it because then you might be able to get it back. It goes to your discard pile instead. Right, that's the end of the turn. We don't want to explore again. So we will reset. Thankfully, we're not poisoned anymore. So I'm just going to draw 2 cards. I've drawn my Keen Rapier and we've drawn the Tinker again. Okay, next turn. Yeah, good old Barnberry. Barnberry's excellent. Really, really good card. Okay. We have drawn Caden Kalen's Revelry. When this is the hour, on your check, you may discard a card to re-roll 1 die, showing a 1 or a 2. Okay, let's see what we found. It's a cave lizard. Now, thankfully, this is a monster 0. Okay? So currently, our vault is made up of level 0, level 1, and level 2 cards, level 0 being the easiest cards. So this should be quite easy, he says. Although, look, it's combat 13. But if proficient with armors, you get an extra d6. I am not proficient with armors. I am proficient with weapons. Damage is increased by 1d4. Ah, so if it damages you, it does extra damage. Right, okay. Well, I am going to reveal the Keen Rapier to use my acrobatics. So acrobatics is d12 plus 2, plus a d6, plus 1. Okay. Oh, Tyler, since you're here, there was a rules question that I had last time about the keen rapier. The last sentence, the if any die rolled on this check shows a 4 counters a 6, does that apply even if I don't reload the weapon? I wasn't 100% sure because of the location in the sentence of that particular wording. Is that going to be enough for a 13? I don't think it is. So we are going to use my ability to recharge. These are both pretty much the same. I'm going to recharge the elixir of healing using my power to add another d6. It applies whenever you use the weapon. Okay, thank you. That's what Paul Kelly said, who was watching the video back later. He said because it's a separate sentence, it applies no matter what. So any time I roll a 4, it actually counts as a 6. So I'm quite confident with this. This is an average of 16. I can't boost it anymore anyway. So off we go. Let's try and stab this cave lizard. Okay, that's better. So yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17. Done. Cave lizard is gone. End of... I mean, I could have just reloaded it to get a d4. Yeah, why wouldn't I have reloaded it to add a d4? I should have done that. But never mind, I did it anyway. End of the turn, I'm going to reset. We've drawn a snakebite dagger. Okay, next turn. And I could have discarded a card to re-roll dice, but I didn't need to. Sands of the Hour. When this is the hour, no effect. Right, let's explore again. It's a dire boar. Now, and that's the 3 monsters that are in here. The dire boar, the cave lizard that we've defeated, and that big scorpion thing. So this is 2 combat checks. We need a 10 and then an 11. When you would reveal a melee weapon on the check to defeat, recharge it instead. Interesting. So you can't just reveal the weapon this time. If you do, you have to recharge it. If defeated, but either check to defeat was not exceeded by at least 4, suffer 1d4 combat damage. Ouch. So even if. That's interesting. Okay. Right. Okay. I've got a plan. Because we've got the snakebite dagger. Snakebite dagger is good against animals. So. Oh, recharging. Okay, we're going to have to do it. So I am going to reveal the keen rapier. And when you would reveal a melee weapon on your check to defeat, I have to recharge it instead. So, presumably I can't then use the ability on it because I'm doing that. So it's a d12 plus a d6 plus 3. And unfortunately, I can't use the other abilities on it. You should use the reload power on the rapier and probably the dagger on the first check. Well, that was the question. Can I use the reload power on the rapier? Because it says when you would reveal a melee weapon, recharge it instead. And I'm revealing it. Oh, you mean on the first check, use the dagger and reload the rapier. Yeah, but then I won't have any weapons for the second check. Yeah, if I do that, I then wouldn't have any weapons for the second check. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to reveal the rapier, which recharges it. Okay. So am I confident with this? 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Meh. This is okay. But I'm erring on the side of caution because I need to defeat it by over 4. Okay. So I'm going to use my power to recharge the Tinker. To add another d6. I do like Miraseal. Okay, so there it is. There's my first check. I'm not going to do anything with the dagger. So it's these. Okay, we need a 10. But actually, we want a 14. but the damage doesn't come till afterwards, so we might be okay. Oh dear, that's not good. Look at that. Oh, come on, Paul. I can't roll it. There you go. Ooh, is that enough? Is that enough? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, it's enough. The D6 saved me. Right, so we've done the first check, but only by 2. Okay, so now we go on to the second check, which is combat 11. And at this point, I am going to reveal the snakebite dagger. Which means it's going to get recharged. So I can't use it. Oh no, I can. Because it says, for your combat check, reveal to use stealth. So it's that, plus that, plus that, plus that. Against an animal or human, you may add another D8 and the poison trait. So that happens even though I'm having to recharge it. Okay? So that's good. Yeah, I'm going to stick in with the pointy end. And then I am going to... So I'm going to take some damage here. So I'm going to have to recharge that for another D6. Okay, here we go. That's more like it. 5, 9, 10, 16, 19. So I did the second combat check. It is defeated, but because the first check wasn't exceeded by at least 4, I take a D4 damage. And I take 3 points of damage, but you're limited by the number of cards in your hand. So if you ever take more damage than cards in your hand, there's no further penalty. It's not like you're dead or anything like that. You just don't take the damage. So the dire boar is defeated. I'm going to reset at the end of my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we lost 1 card from that, which is not bad, but my 2 good weapons are at the bottom of my deck. That's the problem. So I need to be doing some healing in order to get a reshuffle of my deck because my 2 good weapons are at the bottom. Right, okay, we're going. Next hour is prayer. When this is the hour, no effect. We explore. So regular viewers will know that every single session that I play, I find my old rapier. Now, just to let you know, this is how many weapons there are in my vault. Okay? And I shuffle these every single time to create these decks. And every single time, my old rapier comes back. So, well, let's try and acquire it. I am going to make an acrobatics check of D12 plus 2, and I'm not going to bother boosting it. Or do I want to? Because if I boost it, I'm recharging cards and I'm cycling through my deck. So have I got anything that allows me to recharge it? No. No, I don't have anything. It's an enchanted rapier. Yeah, obviously. Okay, I got it. So the rapier is mine. The problem now is that I have to reset down to my hand size of 5. But I could... Can I recharge to explore? Discard to explore. Am I at an aquatic location? I am not at an aquatic location. Otherwise, I could have recharged to explore. No, I don't think I've got another way of exploring. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to recharge the Harrow deck. Because otherwise I'm losing a card. So I am going to recharge the Harrow deck to examine the top 3 cards of any character's deck and return them in any order. Me. Kenneth thinks I'm intentionally including it just for a laugh. I kind of wish I was, but I'm not. Right, top 3 cards are Wormsmite, Studded Leather Armour, and Orison. So I'm going to put the Studded Leather Armour on top, followed by Wormsmite, followed by Orison. Wormsmite is the big sword that I can't really use, but it's good against the dragon at the end of the campaign. So that's why I'm keeping it. It's like a legendary weapon type thing. Okay, end of the turn. I don't have to discard down. Let's hope I don't find a monster next. Still haven't found the prisoner. Okay, we're good to go. End of turn. Next turn is Sands of the Hour. We explore. And we found a barrier. So this is a mob of undead. We cannot defeat it. Summon and encounter a random undead storybane. Right, okay, so we need to... I've not prepared for this. So I just need to get my vault. And we need to find my... Oh no, where is it? There's a sheet that tells you, and I had this last time. Where have I put it? It's the roster. It's the storybane roster. And I remember seeing it earlier on today. And I hope I haven't left it downstairs. Because I really don't want to have to go downstairs and get it. Does anybody have the storybane roster handy? What the heck's that? That's a card from a different game. Because if they have, I could just roll a d6 and you could tell me what it is. I'll do that now. I'm going to roll a d6 for a random undead storybane. It's number 4. If somebody wants to tell me what I've encountered, because I don't have my storybane roster to hand. It's on the back of something. Yes, I know, but I think I saw it downstairs. This is the one from the other one. It's on the back of an Open Me First. That's the Perils. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it today, but I don't know where I've put it. So I'm searching through all of my cards to try. There it is. It's all right. I found it. So number 4 on the undead is a mummy. So we encounter a mummy. Oh, well, I don't need to bother with this, do I? Oh, if all summoned banes are defeated, this barrier is defeated, otherwise it's undefeated. Yeah, so if I don't fight the mummy and defeat it, that barrier is going to get shuffled back into the deck. Also, if you are watching this to learn how to play the game, one of the things that you need to be aware of whenever you are choosing a monster at random from this list, if you ever roll a monster that is a higher level than what you are currently playing, you roll again. We are currently on adventure level 2, and the mummy is a level 2, which means we do encounter it. And it is here. So this is what we've encountered. Now, normally, as I say, because I'm Mauricial, I could just evade it. But if I do evade it, it means that the Mob of Undead card goes back in. Okay, we are ready to go. Yeah, it's the mummy, so it's a 2. Yeah, we're all good. So, we are fighting the mummy. And yeah, if we defeat it, if all summoned banes are defeated, because it's interesting, we're playing solo, but if we were playing multiplayer, a random character at each other occupied location summons and encounter it. So we get a mummy, and a random character at each other occupied location also gets a mummy, because it is a mob, and you have to defeat all of them. So, right, okay, it is immune to cold, mental, and poison. I'll tell you what, I'm joking about finding my old rapier. This is the only weapon I've got. Oh, look at the cost. The check to defeat it is 14 plus hash. That's 18. Okay, we might be in trouble. 18. So, I am going to reveal my rapier, my old trusty rapier. So it's D12 plus 2 plus a D6. If proficient, which I am, I may additionally reload it for another D4. Okay, that's the rapier done. I'm now going to use my ability to recharge the thieves' tools for another D6. I'm then going to use the riding Allosaurus. Now, you can't use, if you are a first edition player, you cannot use the same type of boon more than once. I have 2 allies here, both of which say on a local combat check, recharge to add a d6, on a local combat check, recharge to add a d6. I cannot use both of them, unless it includes the word freely, which neither of them do. So I am going to recharge the riding Allosaurus for another d6. So I've used my power, we've used that. Now I could bury the trumpet to bless twice. Which, no, we don't want to do that. do we? Let's have a look. 3d6, the average of that is 10.5. The average of this is 6.5, so that's 17, 18, 19, 21. We should do it. The average of this is more than 50%. Never tell me the odds. It's immune to cold, mental, poison, vulnerable to fire. If I had any fire, I'd get a +4. Okay, I think we're good. I think we are good to go. We need to do this. The riding Allosaurus is your favourite ally. Mine as well. It's just brilliant. It's so cool. Oh, I hate my D12. I hate my D12 with a passion. Look at that. That's a 1. It's going to be one of those games today. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my D6s, my gaming rules D6s, they rolled okay. 11, 14, 15, 17. Oh, I'm 1 short. Seriously? Am I only 1 short again? Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 17. I gotta buy another D12. I've got lots of D12s. They're all faulty. I failed by 1. Right, we might be quitting this scenario because I do not want to die. I don't have any spare hero points, which means if I die, that is it. Campaign over. Because the other question that cropped up, if Tyler is still here or anybody else in the chat, yeah, I use the D12 from Formula D. Good idea. One of the questions that cropped up last time is, can you voluntarily just stop playing the scenario? Not last time, the time before. And although there's nothing specifically in the rules to say that you can actually just quit the scenario and go home, exploring is optional. So we think by playing the letters of the game as it is, you could literally just advance the hour deck and not explore and run the timer out, and then the adventure is over. You haven't succeeded, but at least you haven't died. Yeah, if I've missed something in the rules to say you can actually quit playing that causes the same end result, then let me know. Right. Yeah, dice rarely average out, that's true, and there's one roll that's more important than the others, except tonight, that's been 2. That's been 2 combat checks. And if undefeated, this is the really bad bit, okay? Because this is thematically great because it's a mummy. If undefeated, bury your discards, so all of these cards in my discard, they are gone, and suffer the scourge wounded. Love this game, but yeah, sometimes it just hits you. I'm now wounded. Where's wounded? Wounded. Right, what does that do? At the start of your turn, discard the top card of your deck. Whenever you would heal any number of cards, you may remove this scourge instead. Right, that's bad. Bad, 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 bad. You can let the clock run out, but with the hourglass, you may end up having hours that do bad things to you. Okay, right. But there is no official rule to say, I'm stopping and I'm going home. Because I think there should be. And I might implement that as a house rule. Because otherwise, just cycling through the deck seems wrong. And in a D&D game, in an RPG, you could just say, I'll tell you what, we're going home. We're, you know, Anyway, we're going to reset. You can quit, but if you have a bad scourge, that could kill you. Okay, yeah, true. So here we go. We're resetting. Here's my rapier again. Here's my armour. Here's Wormsmite. How can we recover from this? We've not even got through the first location yet. The mob of undead gets shuffled back in. Oh, interesting. That's a house rule for you as well. Okay, there you go. You should definitely do that. Definitely do that. And when, because this game is no longer officially supported by Paizo, people like Tyler are going to help keep the game going. We should definitely have that in the list of official house rules. Okay, so start of turn. I'm going to advance the hour, no effect, and I am going to discard the top card of my deck. because I'm wounded. Right. Can we heal? No. I can't heal. Okay, I am going to display my studded leather armour. Look at my studded leather armour. And we are going to explore. Let's see what we found. Ah, the henchman proxy. So that is actually this. Okay, it's the first person that we need to rescue. We found somebody. So we either do a strength or melee of 8, which I can't do, or we do charisma or diplomacy of 10, which I can't do. Oh dear. But on the check to defeat, you may recharge any number of allies. I don't have any allies. Again, I love the way that this works thematically, because you're using the people that you've got with you to try and either help break these people out or convince them to come with you. Oh, we are in luck. We are in luck because we have a Ryson. On a local check, discard to bless, but if the hours level is 0, which it is, I can recharge it instead. So I'm going to recharge that to bless my check, and it is going to be a charisma check because I have a D8 in charisma. So because it's blessed, I get 2d8, and I need a 10. And I can't do anything about this. It is just 2d8. I don't have anything else that I can boost it. Was there something about encountering the Grioth? Yes. Thank you very much. I'd forgotten that completely. Things were going so bad. Before you encounter the rescue, summon and encounter the danger. Right, okay, so forget all of that. I've not blessed the check yet. You're absolutely right. We encounter the Grioth first. So the check to defeat the Grioth is a 14. And it's immune to cold. And if undefeated, discard the top card of your deck and suffer the scourge dazed. Right, well, we could use Wormsmite. I think I've worked out the odds. Although I'm not really skilled with this sword, it can sometimes be better. And I am proficient. So let's work out the odds. If I was to use Wormsmite, I would have to use my strength check, which is a d6 plus 1. But I get a d8 plus another 2. And against the Dragonbane, I would add a d10. It's not a Dragonbane. And if proficient, which I am proficient with weapons. So yeah, it's not that I'm not proficient with it. It's just that it uses strength or melee instead of acrobatics. So I can reload it to add another d4. So that's what I use if I use Wormsmite. So the average of that is 6, 10, 13. The average of that is 13 if I use Wormsmite. If I use the Rapier, then it's actually that, which is a lot more, isn't it? That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. What did we say it was with Wormsmite? 13? And it's 14 with the Rapier. So it's slightly better with the Rapier. Yeah, so we're going to use the Rapier. So that's being reloaded. So it's it's acrobatics, which is d12 plus 2, plus a d6, and I am reloading it for another d4. Okay? And I need a 14. So that's not going to be enough. So I am going to use my ability to reload that, to recharge that for another d6. And I've used another d12. Yeah, it's a lot more if the d12 doesn't betray me. But this is my third d12. I have 4 of them to hand. This is my third one this evening. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to try a combat check against the Grioth. Look at that. So that's a 12, plus a 6, plus another 6. And sometimes, in terms of the bell curve, this is in the latter 1% of the bell curve. I have just rolled a 26. So the Grioth is well and truly defeated, okay, and then we get a chance to rescue, and I'm using my charisma check blessed. I get 2d8 and I need a 10. This is going to be the hard bit. 2d8 and I need a 10. I got a 4. So because this is what happens if you don't get it. If defeated, I didn't defeat it. So I assume it just gets... What happens with a story bane if you do not defeat it? Because if it was a boon, it gets shuffled. If it's a boon, it gets discarded. If it's a bane, it gets shuffled back in. Is a story bane the same? Is a story bane the same? Let's just check to see before the chat answers me. Let's try and find the answer. Yeah, normally they get shuffled back in. That's what I was thinking. Is a story bane, does it follow the same rules as a bane? I assume it does. It says in the scenario rules, does it? Ooh, what have we missed? Nope. It's if I didn't defeat the Grioth, the rescue would have been evaded. Could I just have evaded the Grioth? No. Yeah, I could have done, but if I'd have evaded the Grioth, summon and encounter the danger. If it's not defeated, the rescue is evaded. Yeah, if I hadn't have defeated the Grioth, the rescue would have been evaded and therefore got shuffled back in. But as it is, because I didn't manage to rescue the prisoner, it's getting shuffled back in anyway. Oh dear, 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 dear. This is really not going well, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm enjoying this game more and more the more I play it, despite the swinginess of the dice. But yeah, 5 to 10 years ago, I would have just simply not played this game because of the amount of randomness and the swinginess. And to be fair, if this was a competitive board game, I would not be playing it with this amount of dice. But for a solo game, it's going fine. The princess was in another castle. No, the princess is definitely in this castle. She just wasn't interested. So I'm going to go away, have a shave, do my eyebrows, come back, and try and convince Drugami. Here we go. Next hour. The cricket. When a character moves on their turn, yeah, well, I won't be doing that. And we've drawn. It's the princess again. Right. So we summon and encounter the Grioth. Here we go again. We're going to do the same thing again. Although we now have the star knife. But I need the star knife to bury it. Or do we bury the top card of the deck? Oh, this is difficult. This is so difficult. Right. I am going to reveal the rapier and reload the rapier. So it is a D12 plus a D6 plus 2. And I've reloaded it for another D4. Okay. I am then going to use my power to recharge Wormsmite for another D6. Okay. Now I could use the star knife because it says freely and it's recharged, but because it's a knife and my power, I reload it instead. So I might as well. So I'm also going to reload. It's immune to cold. That's fine. I'm going to reload the star knife for another D4. Do I discard a card for the wound? Yes, you're absolutely right. I forgot to do that. So that would be... oh dear, that's the Keen Rapier. Thank you, Brett, for reminding me. And Tyler. So there are those two cards. This is it. This is my combat check against the Grioth. I need a 14. I just want to rescue one person, and then I can go home. We've been playing an hour. We're still on the first location. Look at this. I've done it again. I have done it again. I've rolled a double. That's ridiculous. 12, 23, 26, 27, 29. The Grioth is dead. Again. And now we are trying to rescue the princess. I only have my charisma. I can't bless the check. but I am going to recharge Drugami to give us another D4. I'm not going to do this, am I? My character is really, really not good at this. Because I increased my wisdom. Why didn't I increase my charisma? So it's a charisma check, and I'm using Drugami. I still have loads of time. I do have loads of time. It's the cards that I've lost that I'm concerned about. So we need a 10. Okay, well, I've rolled a 7 and a 4. Yes, love dice. Get in. And that's it. The highs and the lows of dice. I've rolled an 11. I've done it. So when you acquire... When you would draw a new ally for defeating the rescue, instead draw the rescue proxy. So what happens is, instead of actually going to the vault to get a random ally, I actually get this. So this is now in my hand. I'm glad you're on this journey with me. Thank you very much. And if a rescue proxy would go anywhere other than a hand, you shuffle it into your location. So if I discard this, it gets shuffled back in. Now, because this is a closing henchman, okay, I now get a chance to close the location. And I'm going to do it because we need to move on. So, to close or guard the location, I have to bury a weapon or the top card of your deck. I don't have a weapon, so I'm going to bury the top card of my deck. Now, we know what this is. It's the Star Knife. Okay, it should be the Star Knife because the Rapier was first. So it's the Star Knife. The Star Knife is buried. But when the location is closed, you can heal a weapon or an armor. So I'm going to have my Keen Rapier back. Nice. Right, and I need to get rid of this wounded. So it is a waste, but I am going to banish the elixir of healing, and I have no way of getting this back. So I'm banishing the elixir of healing to heal 1d4 plus 1 cards, but actually I'm not. I'm going to remove the wounded scourge instead. Right, that location is closed. We look through this, because if there were any other villains... Oh, look at that. Right, okay, they're all gone. And we get to move to the stable. So we are now at the stable, and I am going to shuffle this deck. At the stable, when you acquire an ally, you may shuffle a new ally into a random other location. Okay, to close or guard this location requires a charisma diplomacy check. Okay. Yeah, my Rapier is awesome. Okay, we are done. I have 1 card in hand. We are going to reset. There is the Rapier. There is the Trumpet. There is a Ricin. And there is the Snakebite Dagger. Okay, next hour is Sands of the Hour, no effect. We're going to explore, and we have found a Sage. It is an ally. We need Charisma, Diplomacy, or Knowledge check of 4. Well, I don't have Knowledge, and I don't have Diplomacy. So it's going to be a Charisma check, which is a D8. I could recharge. When you acquire an ally, you may shuffle a new ally into a random other location. I don't think I want to. Yeah, I don't think I do. But the question is, do we want to recharge a Ricin to try and get the Sage? Because the Sage is discard to examine the top card of your location, then shuffle it, then you may explore. So it's an extra explore. It saves me time. I don't know. Is it worth it? I think it might be worth it. Okay, we're going to do it. Oh, do we? If I don't do it, that card just goes. Yeah, no, that's fine. We're not going to do it. We're not going to bless the check. We're just going to try and use my natural charisma of a D8 to acquire the Sage. When you acquire an ally, yeah. Okay, I've done it. Yeah, it's not super worth it. I thought so. Well, Tyler's saying bless it so you can shuffle an additional ally into the other location. But do I want to? Do I want to shuffle an additional ally in here? because that's making this deck bigger, and we are on a time limit. Anyway, I've got this. That is mine. Do I want to shuffle a new ally into a random other location? I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't think I do. Okay. So now, before the end of my turn, I am going to discard the Sage to examine the top card of your location, then shuffle the location, then you may explore. So basically, I get a bit of a sneak peek. There's a Swamp Ooze, and then we shuffle it. And then we explore. It's the Swamp Ooze. With these shuffling skills, I should be down the casino. So, it's only a combat check of 9. That's the good news. It is immune to cold, fire, mental, and poison. That's okay, because I'm not using any of that. But after acting, each local character either recharges an armor or suffers 1 acid damage. Now, unfortunately, I don't... When it says recharge an armor, that's from hand, isn't it? If you're displaying it, can you recharge something when it's being displayed? I don't think you can. See, display on page 7. Display. Put it face up next to your deck. Displaying a card and immediately activating a power counts as playing it once, not twice. When you display a card, it is not part of the player's hand, deck, or discards, but it still belongs to the character. So yeah, I don't think you can recharge it from... I think recharge is from hand. So I'm going to suffer an acid damage after acting. Okay. Well, we need to kill it first. So let's use the Rapier. Now it's not my keen Rapier, it's just my old one. So it is acrobatics, which is D12 plus 2 plus a D6. And I'm going to reload it for another D4. Okay. We need to keep this in hand. It's interesting that it's clogging up my hand. Yeah, you can't recharge your displayed card as if it was in your hand. I thought so. So I'm going to basically take a damage at the end of this. Do we want to bless it? No, I don't think I do. I think I'm just going to, on a local combat check, freely recharge to add a D4. I'm going to use this for my power. But then I'd be taking a damage on that. Oh, I don't want to take the damage on that. What am I going to take the acid damage on? Gonna have to take the damage on that. Oh, this is tricky. This is really tricky. Yeah, so I'm going to recharge that with my ability. Another D6. Right, there you go. Off we go. Yeah, easily. I like this D12. Right, so that's the Swamp Ooze defeated, but after acting, I either recharge an armor or I suffer an acid damage, and I'm going to suffer an acid damage on that. Right, end of the turn. I'm going to reset. There she is. There she is. My Priest of Pharasma. That's what I'm going to need to heal this stuff. Right, okay. We are good. Next turn. Orison, when this is the hour no effect, we'll explore. We've drawn an Unseen Sentinel. This is a new card to me. So, combat check to defeat of 11. Before acting, succeed at a Perception 7 check. Nope. Or suffer 1 force damage, and the difficulty of defeat is increased by 3. Well, I don't have any perception, so I get a D4, so I fail that. So it's actually a 14 to defeat, and I suffer a force damage. Gah. That's going to be the Thieves' Tools. Yeah, Thieves' Tools are going to go from the force damage. Then, do not suffer damage from this monster as usual. Instead, discard the top 1d4 cards of your deck. This encounter cannot be avenged. Okay, right. So, off we go. It is Rapier time. The Rapier, d12 plus 2 plus a d6. Reload it to add a d4. Okay. The hour is 0. So I am going to discard... so I am going to recharge the Orison to bless. How many blessings in my whole deck? In this deck, in the hourglass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wow, we're only 11 turns in? Yeah, we're 11 turns in. It feels like about 20 turns in. Gosh. Where was he up to? What have I just done? I've blessed the check, so it's another d12. Now, we'll get the purple one back. Hopefully you've learnt your lesson. Okay, right. And then we're saving the Priest of Pharasma in order to heal after this fight. Okay, so we need a 14. We should do this. We should absolutely do this with 212, he says. Yeah, so it's 15, 20, 24, 26. So we've done. It is defeated. That's gone. And then, before the end of my turn, I am going to bury the Priest of Pharasma to heal a local character 1d4 plus 1 cards. This could be important. It's a 3 plus 1 is 4. So I heal 4 cards. How many cards have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Right, so they're all getting shuffled in. If I hadn't have rolled that, then I would have had to choose cards at random, I think. I don't think you can choose what you heal. Is healing always at random? Yeah, shuffle the specified number of cards, random cards from your discard randomly into your deck. Yeah, but because I rolled 3 plus 1 is 4, we're okay. Right, we're done. We've got the Sage, we've got the Worm Smite, we've got Drums of Haste, and we've got Harrow Deck. Rubbish. Cards I don't want. Absolute rubbish cards. Yeah, if it uses the keyword heal, it's always random. Thought so. Thank you. Next hour. The Theatre. When this is the hour, at the start of your turn, examine the top card of your location. You may encounter it. Oh, right. Okay. So this is a good one. This is actually a good one. So we look at it, and then I may encounter it. And if I don't, then on my turn I may encounter it. So we might as well encounter it. Brilliant. Now we got rid of the Thieves' Tools. I don't have the Thieves' Tools now. So we need an 8. We need a craft or a disable check of 8. Now I'm really good at disabling. D12 plus 2, but I need my Thieves' Tools. Don't have my Thieves' Tools. If undefeated, mark your location with the Scourge poisoned. Yeah, it's a poison gas trap. So if we accidentally set it off, it's going to cause poison on the location. Right. Is this just going to be a roll? Is there anything I can do to boost this? It's a local arcane non-combat or knowledge non-combat. Nope. Nope, it's none of that. I can't use Worm Smite. I can't smash it with a sword. I can't use the drums. I could use the Harrow Deck, but that just looks at my cards. Yeah, okay. Oh, I might want to evade it. I could just evade it. What's the chance of me getting an 8? Slightly over 50%. If I fail, the location is going to become poisoned. I'm probably then going to become poisoned, but the barrier is damaged. I will suffer poison damage. Oh, we don't want damage at this point. Although, these are rubbish cards. Yeah, I still have my actual explore, but I'm thinking of taking a risk. Because the worst case, I trigger it, I become poisoned, I take a D4 poison damage. Do I want to be poisoned? I mean, I don't want to be poisoned. Oh, no, this is really bad because I recharge a random card, and if I recharge this, it gets shuffled back in. The prisoner escapes. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to evade it. We are going to evade it. So this was my free encounter, right? And again, only Mauricial can do this. Normally, you would need special cards or powers to evade, but Mauricial can basically evade every time you see a card. You can evade it. Okay, right. Now it is my encounter. What is it with me? I'm going to evade it again. What is it with me and shuffling? I mean, you saw me doing it. I just somehow managed to shuffle a card back onto the top of the deck. I mean, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Card number 4 is going on top of the deck. There you go. Right. So it's not down to me shuffling now. End of the turn. I don't want to reset because I don't want to lose any cards. But I probably am going to recharge the Harrow deck. So I'm going to recharge the Harrow deck to look at the top 3 and put them in any order. Rapier, Thieves' Tools, the Riding Allosaurus. Thieves' Tools is going on top, followed by the Riding Allosaurus, followed by the Rapier, and then I draw the Thieves' Tools. So now if we draw it, now I can disable it. Right, next hour. Yes way. The Demon's Lantern. On your check against a barrier, the difficulty is increased by 3. So we don't want to draw the barrier. Oh, we've drawn it again. Look at that. Now, that was not me shuffling. So, this is hilarious. On your check against a barrier, the difficulty is increased by 3. So it's not 8, it's 11. We need an 11. I'm not going to evade it again. I'm going to try and disable it. So it's D12 plus 2. And on your disable non-combat check to defeat a lock or trap barrier, it is a lock or trap barrier, reveal to add a D8. You may additionally recharge to add another D8. So I'm adding 2D8. That's amazing. That is really, really good. Okay, D12 plus 2D8 plus 2, we need an 11. There you go. 1921. Done. The barrier has gone. End of the turn reset. Draw a card. It's a Rapier. Next turn. Pharasma's Knowing. When this is the hour, on your check against an undead, add a d6. We are exploring. It is a Pit Gladiator. Now, this is a new card I've not seen before. Check to acquire. Oh, wow. So first of all, I need to do a strength or melee check to impress them. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And then after that, I need to do a charisma and diplomacy check. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. So yeah, strength or melee check. Yeah, I'm at d6 plus 1. No, I'm just going to discard this. Yeah, I don't get it, so that just goes. Not interested in coming with me at all. That's really good. It's a really good card. I can't have that. Okay, next turn. The Marriage. When this is the hour, at the start of your turn, summon and encounter an ally. Ah, right, okay. So we go to the allies. And off we go. Okay, and we have encountered. It is the Craftsman, the Dwarf Hireling Craftsman. So we encounter it. We get a chance to acquire it. Charisma or Diplomacy 6 or Craft 4. I don't have any boosts, so we're going to use Charisma. Nope, not interested, so it disappears. Right, well, there's that done. Then we're going to explore Drawn a war drum. What is it with me and drums? Check to acquire. Constitution or charisma? Well, that's charisma again. Yep, got it. Got the war drum. Is it of any use whatsoever? On a local combat check, recharge to add a d4. When you defeat a monster, recharge to heal a weapon. Well, that's pretty good. So I think we're going to, at the end of the turn, I need to discard down. So I'm going to discard the Drums of Haste. Is Marriage from the Crimson expansion? Yes, in fact, the Curse of the Crimson Throne expansion adds a huge amount of more blessings, and they are a lot more complicated. In the base game, most of the blessings are really simple, and the when this is the hour effects are really simple. In the Curse of the Crimson Throne expansion, a lot of these when this is the hour effects are actually quite complex. So, we're done. Next turn. Whoever that is, Zon Kuthon's Pain. When this is the hour, after discarding any number of cards as damage, draw a card. Okay, right. We are exploring. It's the prisoner. Or, sorry, not prisoner. Yeah, prisoner that we're trying to rescue. Somebody we're trying to rescue. So, first of all, we have the Grioth. Where's the Grioth gone? There's the Grioth. So it's this, but we have to encounter the Grioth first. So we need 14. Okay, so we have the Rapier. It is D12 plus 2 plus a D6. Reload it for a D4. I will recharge the Sage. What's that card doing there? That should be there. Recharge the Sage using my power for another D6. Actually, let's just have a look at the Sage. Arcane or Knowledge. That's no good for rescuing the prisoner, is it? No. Okay. I think we're good. Yep, I think that's it. Don't think there's anything else I can do. Nine, 10, 17, 19. Done. The Grioth is dead. Okay, which means we get a chance to rescue, but... Oh, you can pitch an ally for a D4. Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much for that. So I would have kept it, because I forgot about that. I would have got rid of probably the Wormsmite. Oh, I've got this as well. Recharge to add a D4. I forgot about that. Anyway, yeah. Thank you. It's the prisoner. Watch out for the giant white ball. I am not a number. I am a free man. Has anybody watched the new series of The Prisoner? I say new. It's probably about 15 years old now, but I know they did a remake of it, and I've not watched it yet. So we are now trying to rescue, and yes, we are going to recharge this ally. So it's a D8 for my charisma plus a D4. Now, the last time we succeeded and we rolled an 11, but we were lucky. I can't do anything to boost this, can I? I've got a war drum. That's all I've got. I rolled a 7. That's not a 10. So that gets shuffled back in. Well, the proxy gets shuffled back in, which means we're going to have to meet the Grioth again. Oh. Okay, Brett says, it was okay, but forgettable. That's a shame. It's a shame. Because it was a classic old series. Although I did watch it to the end, and I was very disappointed. I think it was one of those series, and to be fair, it's not just because it was an old series, because there are new series as well, that the concept is good, and it starts off great, but then it kind of lost its way, and it kind of just got a bit made up as it goes along, and the end of The Prisoner for me didn't make any sense. And a lot of modern TV shows are like that as well. Right, next turn. The Uprising. Your non-combat check against the Bane is blessed. Okay, well, let's explore. Let's see what we found. It's a pig. Oink. Wisdom or survival 3. I'm going to use my wisdom of D6 plus 1 to try and acquire it. Yeah. Got it. I got a pig. Which I will then discard to explore. And if I defeat a monster, I heal a card. Awesome. The magic pig. It's the Reef Claw. So if I defeat this monster, I get to heal a card. Right, we need an 11. Off we go. But if this monster would be defeated, re-roll. So it is the Rapier, D12 plus a D6 plus 2. Reload it for a D4. Recharge the Riding Allosaurus. For another D6. Recharge the War Drum. For another D4. Yeah, I know this is a bit crazy, but I just need to be sure. And then I'm going to use my power, which I haven't used yet, to recharge for another D6. How'd you like them apples? Right, off we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 17. Done, but it gets a reroll. Yeah, that's it. It's defeated. And because I defeated a monster in my exploration with the pig, I get to heal a card. Evens it's the pig. It's the pig. The pig gets recharged. It gets healed, which is going to get shuffled in before I reset. So that's actually not particularly great because I'm going to get 4 random cards. Okay, we've got a pig, a tinker, a war drum, and a keen rapier. Glad we got the rapier then. Right, I think we're done. Next turn. This game is going on a lot longer. I said to Vicky it'll be about an hour and a half at the most. We're an hour and a half in, but this is awesome. This has been a very different, game. You can choose the card you heal. No, healing is always random unless it says otherwise. And that just said heal a card. Right, the hour is Norgorba's Shadow. When this is the hour, did I miss something on the previous one? No. On your stealth check, or your check that invokes the poison trait, add a D4. Right, we're exploring. There's only 2 cards left. It is the Rescue and the Grioth. So we have to first fight the Grioth again. Okay, now thankfully we've got 2 allies this time. So Keen Rapier, D12, getting excited now, plus 2, plus a D6, plus 1. Reload to add a D4. Okay, and then I'm going to use my power to recharge the War Drum for a D6. And I'm going to keep these. Okay. So I think this is it. Okay. And any roll of a 4 is made into a 6. Okay, well, we've rolled a 12. We've rolled a 12 on the D12. So we've done it. We've defeated the Grioth. Now we are encountering the Rescue, and this time I am going to recharge 2 allies. So the Princess, I'm basically going to say, look at this. I've got a tinker and I've got a pig. Come with me. Do I really reshuffle or do I just make noises and sleight of hand? No, I'm definitely reshuffling. So they are getting recharged. This is my best chance. Okay, I have a D8 and I have 2 D4. We still need a 10. The average of this is actually only 8. But this is my best chance. Am I going to be here forever trying to acquire this? Yeah, because I've got to get it to close the loop. I have to rescue the person. Let's just check these. Was there anything else? On a local check to acquire, recharge to add a D4. Well, I'm doing that anyway. On a local constitution or charisma check, recharge to add a d4, which is what I'm doing anyway. Yeah. Is the pig from the core set? No, the pig is from Curse of the Crimson Throne. Here we go. I'm also getting really hungry. I have rolled a 7. So that gets shuffled back in. Oh dear. Yeah. Me making a charisma check of 10 is not easy. Not easy at all. Okay. I reset. That's it. And then the next hour is the Foreign Trader. When this is the hour, on any non-combat check, you may freely recharge an ally that lists diplomacy in its check acquired to bless. Okay, I don't have that. Okay, we're going to explore. And it is, again, it's another Grioth. This is getting a little bit repetitive. So, we're going to use the Keen Rapier, D12 plus a D6 plus 3 reloaded to add a D4. And I am going to put the Thieves' Tools to the bottom of the deck for another D6. And here we go. Yeah, we've killed what, 4 Grioths? Oh, that's bad. Here we go. Here we go. Time to go home, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 damage. Now, I do have studded leather armor. So whenever I suffer cold or combat damage, I can recharge to reduce it by 1. Or whenever you discard cards as combat damage, you may reload one of those cards. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, is I'm going to use the top ability. So I'm basically taking 5 damage. I've only got, oh, I've got these 3. Ah, so this is especially bad. If I reduce the damage, it's still all of these cards, and then this card will get shuffled back into the deck. So I'm going to use the top power. I'm going to be discarding cards as combat damage. I'm going to reload one of them, which is going to be the Riding Allosaurus. That gets discarded. That gets discarded. And because of the scenario special rules, that gets shuffled into there. So the Grioth, if undefeated, discard the top card of your deck and suffer the Scourge Dazed. So that goes there. I'm dazed. And then the Grioth disappears. And actually, those 2 get shuffled into there. This is really not going good. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, the princess getting shuffled back in is not too bad. But the problem is, for me to actually acquire the princess is a check that I'm just not good at. I'm not good at all. It has gone horribly wrong. It's been really interesting because it started off really bad, but then I started to do okay. But at this point, with the fact that it's 5:30, dinner is being cooked downstairs, I think at this point we are going to implement the house rule and probably just head back and come and tackle this scenario again next week, because I don't think, with the time that I have left, yeah, switch the D12 off and on again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm just going to play through a couple more turns. This scenario is tricky for Mauricio solo. Yeah, because rescuing these prisoners for Mauricio is actually really difficult. I'm just going to play a couple more turns because I don't just want to quit straight away. Just want to show you that I don't think this is going to work. So we draw 5 cards. Dazed. You may not examine locations. If you explored this turn, you may not explore again. If you didn't suffer this scourge on this turn at the end of your turn. Yeah, I'm always confused by dazed. If you didn't suffer the scourge this turn, on the end of your turn, shuffle your hand. So basically, I did suffer it this turn, so nothing happens. But next turn, I shuffle my hand back into my deck and remove the dazed. Okay. So yeah, so here's what's going to happen. The hour progresses. When this is the hour, the first time you discard cards as damage, recharge one of them instead. We explore bringing Kyra as a pinch hitter and play 2 characters. That was another option, is get on the phone, call another character and say, can you come and join me just for this one adventure? So we fight the Grioth again, which is all of this stuff again. So that goes there, that, and that. Except I've got other stuff as well. I mean, I've got this, bury to bless twice. Okay, but then I need to close the location. Closing the location is hard enough for me. Oh, it's a survival check. Can use Drugami for that. And we're going to reload that as well for another d4. Okay, off we go. So we're fighting the Grioth. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, the Grioth is dead. We could just use the Trumpet. Bury to bless twice. I mean, we do get it, but we're not going to get it the next time. That's the problem. So I'm just going to use Drugami to recharge, to try and rescue the prisoner. So it's D8 plus D4. Got 5, didn't get it. So that gets shuffled back in. And I think this is it. I think this is why I'm probably going to just scrap this and go home, because what I'm doing is I'm burning through cards. Well, I'm not actually burning through cards. I'm just spending time trying to get these. Is a strength check better? I should have checked. I should have checked if a strength check would have been better. But for me, my strength is D6 plus 1. And D6 plus 1 versus a D8, I think the odds are exactly the same. I think so. What do you think? Is D6 plus 1 or a D8? Which is better? I think the average is exactly the same. When this is the hour, on each check, the first blessing played to bless first blessing played to bless may be played freely. Okay. We're encountering, oh look, it's the Grioth again. 7 dead Grioths. Yeah, Keen Rapier, reloading with the Snakebite Dagger. I'll put the Snakebite Dagger on the bottom actually. So it's like D12 plus a D6 plus a D6 plus a D4. The difficulty is only 8 versus 10. Oh, was it? Oh, oops. Okay, thank you very much. I should have been doing the strength check then. Oh, this is my silly. I'm getting tired. We killed the Grioth. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot I am. So the strength check is actually only an 8. Ah, I should have been doing that. Should have been doing that. Why is the riding Allosaurus in the discard pile? Oh, yeah. Okay, my silly fault. My silly fault. So yeah, the hour will allow me to use both blessings, but I don't need to. I just need to use one of them, but it is a discard. Oh, I feel such an idiot now. I could have probably rescued one of these prisoners. For some reason, earlier on, I just went, oh, diplomacy is the way to do it. Whereas actually, why haven't I been using my strength check the whole time? Yeah, enough with the wooing, bash the door down. Yeah, I feel like an idiot. I really do. And I'm not sure why I got stuck in the, oh, I'll use diplomacy when actually, sorry, I'll use charisma when the strength is much, much easier. So we're gonna discard that. So it's 2d6 plus 1. There you go. That's how you do it. So we get that. I draw 2 more cards. And then the next hour, Sands of the Hour. We're going to... we do have to do Dazed. But at the end of your turn, which is, I think, after you've reset, I can never quite remember whether end of your turn is before reset. End of your turn. Apply end of turn effects. Oh, problem. End of turn effects. I'm dazed. So I have to shuffle my hand back into my deck and remove this Scourge, which means... Oh yeah, I can close the location. Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay, but so here's the thing. I can close the location. But then what's going to happen is at the end of my turn, because I'm dazed, I'm going to lose this, which is going to get shuffled into there. So yeah, this is what would happen. It was a closing henchman. I do get a chance to close the location. I thought I had a card that was going to help me, but I don't. So I'm going to bury the trumpet to bless this check twice, and I'm going to make a 3d8 charisma check. Just to say, there you go, I rolled an 18. So that location is closed. Yeah. And then I move to the cell, and then at the end of the turn, because I'm dazed, these two cards get shuffled into my deck. But because this, whenever it leaves my hand, actually gets shuffled into there, you're saying this is definitely still winnable. I think it might be. I'd have to be very, very lucky. That gets shuffled into my deck. Look how fat my deck is. I am no longer dazed. I'll tell you what, if I bring this back from the brink, this is going to be one of the best games ever. I'm going to have to carry on, aren't I? I can't quit now. As long as I don't die. 5 cards. Rapier, Rapier, Tinker, Snakebite Dagger. So what we need to do is we need to find the prisoner first and then encounter the bad guy. Right. We are running out of time though. We only have 7 turns left. Yeah. If I get the rescue, I can close the cell. But the problem is, oh, and then what happens with the villain? Yeah. I don't know, because if you get a villain, I can't remember what happens if you close a location that has a villain in it. When you encounter a monster from a location before acting another local, right, forget that. You cannot move unless, right, yep. Okay, so that's not going to affect us. Do we still have a hero point? I do not have a hero point. I spent it on a reroll in Adventure 4, I think. Oh God, look at this. Okay, if you close the location, the villain becomes the only card in the location. Right, we can still do this. It requires a little bit of luck, which I haven't had today at all. So, we've just found some Grey Maiden plate, which I can't acquire, so I just get rid of it. I don't think I can acquire that. I mean, it's no good to me anyway, because I can't really use it. I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff for a big fighter type, but nope. That is going. Okay, that's gone. Next hour. The Locksmith. On your check, you may recharge a card to replace all D4s with D8s. And we've encountered the Priest of Asmodeus. Arcane Divine 5. We do that. Nope. What about Charisma or Diplomacy 9? Well, we can use the Tinker. So we're going to use Charisma of D8. And we're going to use the Tinker on a local check to acquire. Yes. Recharge to add a D4. Okay. We need 9. Did not get a 9. Priest of Asmodeus is gone. I draw a new card. It is the Pig. Next hour is the Tyrant. When this is the hour, when you fail a Charisma check, suffer 1d4 combat damage and the Scourge wounded. Oh, in fact, the Locksmith, On your check, you may recharge a card to replace all D4s with D8s. Right, hang on a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. I would have recharged Worm Smite to replace that D4 with a D8. Oh, and I did it. I actually did it. I actually got the 9. Okay. So I've got the Priest of Asmodeus. On a local check, reveal this card and bury another card to re-roll. Okay, I'm keeping it. I'm absolutely keeping it. Are we going to use the pig? We're going to use the pig. I'm going to use the pig to discard to explore. This is still on the same turn. It's the villain. Now, this is not good because we can't defeat the villain because we haven't actually rescued anybody. So when you encounter the villain, before acting, bury 1d4 cards. Does before acting... Okay, so you apply any effects that happen when you encounter the card, then evasion, then its effects before acting. So I get a chance to evade it first. And I can't reveal a prisoner, so I am going to evade it. So we're evading the villain. Okay. End of turn. I draw a replacement. Next hour is the Tyrant. When you fail a charisma check, suffer a d4 damage. I explore the Quivering Cube. Why can't they call it a gelatinous cube? Because that's what it is. Combat 12 or craft 9, immune to electricity, mental and poison. If you are at an underground location, I am. Difficulty to defeat is increased by 4. I need a 16. Do not suffer damage. Instead, each local character suffers 1d4 acid damage and the Scourge entangled. Right. How are we going to defeat this? Not a charisma check, thankfully. Well, we have a Keen Rapier, so it is. We're just going to have to put everything into it. D12 plus 2 plus a D6 plus 1. Reload it for a D4. Freely reload the Snakebite Dagger for another D4. And then use my ability to recharge the Rapier. What's this? What are these two cards doing here? I think these were reloaded from earlier. Oh, they can't call it a gelatinous cube because card games don't fall under the Open Gaming License, and therefore Wizards could sue them. Right, there you go. That's why. But okay, is it called a gelatinous cube in the Pathfinder role-playing game though? Because that is based on open source. Okay, I think we're good. We need a 16. We need a miracle. Do I need another D6? Have I? Yes, I need another D6. So, where's my cards? I've messed my cards up here. Yeah, Drugami should not be on top of my deck. Okay, I'm messing my cards up accidentally. So, I use the Rapier, which is D12 plus 2 plus a D6 plus 1, and then I reloaded it for a D4. I then used the Snakebite Dagger for another D4, and then I put a card on the bottom of my deck for another D6. Okay. Here we go. And if I really need to, I can reveal the Priest of Asmodeus and bury another card to re-roll. Yeah, I messed up my cards. Time to start again. Okay. Okay, so we got 4, 8, 12, 17, 19, 22. Done. Yeah, done. We got rid of it. We killed it. Now, that wasn't an exploration from the pig, was it? No. Okay, so we're resetting. Okay. Next turn, the Snakebite. On your combat check, you may add the poison trait, but if you do not, you suffer the Scourge poisoned. We're exploring. We found it. This is getting tense, isn't it? We have found it. So we need to fight the Grioth, which is a 14. So again, Keen Rapier, D12, plus a D6, plus 3. Reload it for a D4. I'm going to reload the Sage. So I'm going to recharge the Sage. Oh, no, I need to keep allies. I need to keep allies. I'm keeping the allies. I will add poison. It's not immune to poison, so I can add poison. That's fine. And I'm going to recharge the snakebite dagger. Zoomed out, sorry. Sorry, getting all excited. Recharging the snakebite dagger for another d6. This doesn't seem that much. Oh, and there's a 1 again. Oh, this game sucks. So the rapier was the d12. A 4 counts as a 6, so that 4 is actually a 6. Oh, I think I've done it. I think that's 14. 6, 10, 11, 14. I've just done it. Thanks to that rapier counting 4s as 6s. Wow. Just done it. Right, so that's the Grioth done. I now get a chance to rescue, and this time I'm using my strength because I'm not an idiot anymore, and I am going to recharge 3 allies. So it's a d6 plus 1 plus 3d4. Okay? We need a 7. No, we need an 8. Okay, we got more than an 8. We got an 8. Right. So we have rescued. That is mine. Okay. Next. I cannot believe this game. Every time I've played, well, the last few times I've played this, it's been incredible what's happened. And we're at it again. We have 3 cards left. Oh, closing the location. Yes, thank you. Closing the location. Right, hang on. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I probably did that way too much. Yeah. Okay. I did that too much because I'd forgotten about the closing the location. So hang on. Let me just take that back. Let me take that back. I would not have done that. It was d6 plus 1. I would not. I need to bury an ally. Oh no, it's a disable 8 check. I can do disable. But right, let's just really think about this. I'd forgotten that I was going to close the location. I need an 8. I'm at a d6 plus 1. So 2d4 probably would be enough. Wouldn't it? What I'm thinking is burying the ally is too reliable. So just doing a rewind. If I was to recharge 2 allies on this might not get the prisoner. But if it does get the prisoner, I can then bury one of these allies and the location is closed, and then we're fighting the villain. But if I fail this, then the princess gets shuffled back in. And then that's pretty much game over. So I need to do this. But I've got to do both. I've got to succeed in the rescue attempt, and I've got to succeed in closing the location. Why do I need to close before facing the villain? I don't. But if I close this location, then the villain will be the only card in the location. If I don't close the location, the villain could be any of these, and we only have 2 turns left. So by closing the location, I guarantee that I'll encounter the villain next. If you fail the roll, you can't then choose to bury the ally. Yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and work out the odds. If I was to throw all of these 3 away, then we know we've already rolled that. We rescued the person. Then I need to succeed at a disable 8 check, which is basically I get a +2, so I'd need a 6, which is a 60% chance, 52% chance, something like that, 55% chance. Okay. Whereas if we went the other way, what's the chance of me rescuing them? The chance of that, it would be a 3, that would be a 2, that would be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slightly more. I want to know what the odds are, because it's about the same. It really is about the same. Yeah, Tyler, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the odds of me rolling an 8 on a d6 plus 2d4 plus 1 is slightly more than the odds of me rolling a 6 or higher on a d12. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to recharge 2 characters to try and convince this prisoner to come with me. In fact, yeah, so it's a it's strength. Well, not convince. I'm going to use 2 allies to help me try and break the prisoner out. Okay. Having the rescue in hand still gives you yes. And Frodo says he doesn't trust the D12 anyway. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Here we go. This is it. I've recharged the wrong one. Okay, this is it. Done it. Rolled a 14. Gaming rules for the win. Right, okay, so we have rescued. Where is it? Where's the proxy? What have I done with it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one, isn't it? Or is this one I already had? Yeah, it's already in my hand. So I'd already put it in my hand. Okay. And then we close the location by burying that. So when you close a location, you look through it. If there's a villain, then you leave the villain there in the location. And that is it. Right, okay, here we go. My God. This is insane. And this game would be very different with a different character. It would be very, very different. Right, the hour is progressing. It is, for Asma's knowing, on the check against an undead, add a d6. I'm going to get rid of that and replace it with the Grioth, because that's what it is. The villain is just another Grioth. And we have fought 10 Grioths. How many Grioths have I killed today? Insane amount. Right. But here's the problem. When you encounter the villain, before acting, bury 1d4 cards. Okay? So this is basically... This is the bit which is completely random. If this rolls a 4, it's game over. Yeah, this is a little bit too much, this. When you encounter the villain, before acting, bury 1d4 cards. Yeah. It's a 4. Game over. I'm not having that. That's crazy. That amount of swingy randomness at the end. Yeah. So I'm going to fudge it, to be honest. I'm not going to replay this whole scenario again just because I rolled a 4 at the end. Sorry. But the real answer is I failed this scenario. But yeah, I'm not having 2 hours of gameplay wrecked just because I rolled a 4 at the end. So. Oh, it's 1 damage. I could edit this bit out and nobody would know. So I have to bury a card. It doesn't matter. Let's bury the wardroom. Not bothered. After acting, if each character cannot reveal a rescue proxy, the villain is undefeated. So basically, I've just got to try and kill the Grioth. So it's the usual thing, d12 plus a d6, reload it for a d4, add 3, that goes on top of the deck, and then I can recharge a card for another d6. In fact, let's see what would have happened if I'd have taken 3 damage. Let's just see if I would have done this having taken 3 damage. In other words, so that I had the rapier in hand. I had no way of changing the roll, unfortunately. No. Yeah, I would have done it. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So yeah, I would have done it. If that damage that I took was 3, I would have buried those 3 cards. I would have been left with the Rapier in hand, and the Rapier was just enough to kill the Grioth. Reveal that. Scenario done. Wow. Right, I'm going to read the development, and then I'm going to go downstairs and eat some food before I faint. You have broken through the Grioth's cell of webs and freed their prisoners. Filled with gratitude, the families of the victims try to give you what riches they can muster. You are satisfied with simply reuniting them with their loved ones. You find yourself contemplating this dark window through which the Grioths come. Priestess Targas spoke of forcing them back through the window, but that seems too likely to repeat the danger the land currently faces. Should you encounter this dark window, you will shatter it for all eternity. The Grioths can find another world to invade. Okay, so I get a hero point, and I get void glass armor, okay, which I'll look at this all later on. But also, because this was the end of Adventure 2, each character gains a roll card. Now, the roll cards is a whole part of the game that I've not even looked at yet, but I'm going to do that before Adventure 3. Wow. That was incredible. Thank you for joining me today. Slight tweak at the end, but yeah, I think, to be honest, I mean, I love the game. I'm really enjoying it, but that bit at the end, where you bury your D4 cards, and if you roll a 4, you lose. It's just that's too much. That should be D3 cards or something like that. Just anything other than a D4. That's the one bit of the game that I don't like, is when you get a very, very swingy result. Like, you know, you miss a combat check by 1, and it says take a D4 damage, and you roll a 4. That's just, you know, yeah. But that's the game. That happens. This was a really good scenario. Really enjoyed the scenario. Ups and downs, roller coasters all the way. And I really didn't think, you know, I was going to quit 40 minutes ago. That was it. We were going to quit. And then we were like, no, let's carry on. That's why I needed 6 cards in hand. Yes. Well, my hand size is only 5. So, but yeah, that was fantastic. That was a really good game. And yeah, thank you to everybody for joining me in the chat, because that was incredible. Exhausting, but incredible. So, final shout out again. Thank you very much to all of my Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you like the content that I create and you want to help support the channel, basically help me afford some Valium so I can calm down. Patreon.com/gaming rules. Be a member of the Gaming Rule community. And yeah, that's everything. I will be back next Monday with part 7 of this playthrough, where we embark on the third part of the adventure. We're going to move into level 3 cards, which means the vault is going to get even harder. We're going to start encountering level 3 monsters, level 3 Banes, and the difficulty is going to ramp up even more. So yeah, join me next Monday. And I will be back later on in the week for some more content. I've got an unboxing of Maharaja tomorrow. I'll be live streaming on Wednesday, playing Tapestry and Imperium. And then Friday evening with Fjordar. That's everything. Yep, thanks very much. Speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC